Good morning. Today you join us here in Lil Greens in Kenilworth, where we are recording our August property market update. Now, before we get into that, I just want to say a big thank you to the management at Lil Greens for letting us come here and record. And it's the coffee's just arrived and it smells good. It's a nice venue, isn't
Yeah,
it?
so really nice. Yeah, recently refurbished. So
Yeah, it's really
I think
nice.
business has been booming for them since they've opened. So yeah, congratulations, Ben and Craig.
Yeah, and thank you very much. So getting into the sort of market stuff, we're here just a little bit to give you an update as to what's happened locally and nationally. A lot of what we're going to talk about revolves around national statistics. A lot are taken from the Rightmove House Price Index, which is obviously a huge source of data, and we learn quite a lot from what's happening nationally on there. But then also talking through some of our more local areas, what we're seeing on the ground as well. So I think the way best to describe the market at the moment is that it's not a bad market. I keep hearing people say that, but a bad market to me was when 2008. I remember working then, and people just couldn't get mortgages. There was no access to credit, and basically people just couldn't afford to buy houses. We're not at that point, but we're definitely in a period where it's not a boom market either. Properties are selling, but it's just very price sensitive. So, what are you seeing at the moment, Michael?
Well, I can't really comment on 2008. It's a little bit before my time. Yeah, no, there's definitely still buyers out there, 100%. But what we're finding is there's a lot more choice for buyers. There's a lot more properties available on the market. But the positive spin on that is the buyers that are out there, they do seem to be more serious. The viewing to offer ratio is really good. Whereas a few years ago, sort of definitely after COVID, we'd seem to do 30 viewings in one day, maybe only come out with a couple of offers. Now we're maybe doing 2 or 3 viewings and we're still coming out with an offer. So the people that are there seem to be needing to move rather than just looking for something to do.
Yeah, and that's what we're sort of seeing locally, but also the national picture is showing that. So in terms of pricing, and it's not all about pricing, for us we find the transaction volume is probably more important, but on the pricing, newly listed properties, it looks like the average asking price has fallen 1% in the month of July to 372,000. So that's obviously a slight drop. Now, what also the report's saying is that this time of year you often see a softening of the market because people are on holiday and what have you. But this July, it's dropped a fair amount. It's 0.2%, and that's noticeably bigger. Now, some of the reasons for that, obviously, we've had a World Cup, there's been a change of Prime Minister, there's been a lot happening internationally as well. So there's been plenty of distractions for buyers. But like what Michael was saying, what we've probably found is that the people that are out there looking are definitely quite motivated, aren't they? And they're
Yeah.
more sort of serious than perhaps sometimes you get this time of year.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, as I said, there's less viewers out there, so to speak, and that sort of lines up nationally. So nationally, there's activity is 6% lower than last year. But for context, if we look at the year before, we're actually in line with the first half of 2024. So it's certainly not a market where no one's buying. People are just being a bit more discerning with properties
Yeah,
that they are going for.
exactly. And I think probably the message for anyone thinking of selling is the market isn't necessarily the problem, but the price can be. We're seeing well presented properties in good locations, launched at sort of sensible prices, are still attracting plenty of attention. But if a property comes onto the market even slightly too high, buyers have enough alternatives that they'll simply move on to the next property.
Yeah, and obviously that's going to be due to the mortgage rates. They are slightly higher. I think for first-time buyers, you're looking just over the 5% at the time of recording this. But the Bank of England has held the base rate again at 3.75%, and that's been the same since December. So latest meeting was end of July, and they've decided to hold that again. So hopefully that has a positive impact on the mortgage rates, but obviously time will tell with that.
Yeah, that's right. And also, I think another key thing that people talk about when looking at the housing market is the inflation figures. And inflation has actually fallen slightly to 2.6%, which is obviously a positive, but the uncertainty surrounding energy prices and the conflict in the Middle East is still causing the Bank of England to be cautious. I mean, I think we'd hoped certainly before the Iran conflict that the Bank of England would actually lower rates slightly, and I think they were poised to do so. But obviously, that's all changed since what's happened in the Middle East. The latest Rightmove figures put the average 2-year fixed mortgage at 5.11%. So affordability is still challenging for some buyers, but I think the important thing is that there is a degree of stability there. Buyers can sit down with a mortgage advisor and understand what they can afford and make a decision accordingly, even if perhaps it's not quite, it's at a higher price point as it would have been maybe a couple of years ago.
Yeah, so I mean, so that's looking at everything nationally, obviously bringing in a lot more local now. So looking across just Warwickshire as a whole, the average sold price in the last year is currently sitting at 355,000. So that's 3% down on the previous year. So again, that just shows how important pricing really is at the moment.
Yeah, and I think that's the opportunity there, isn't it? Because basically, if you're buying and selling in the same market, you shouldn't necessarily be frightened by slightly softer prices. You might accept a little less on your property, but equally there may be an opportunity for you to negotiate on the property that you're buying. So it's all about the difference in the two numbers than the actual taking each, sale price individually.
Well, so what would your advice be to someone who's looking to sell right now?
Well, it's like what we say most of the time, but it's doing it. It's first of all from the start trying to get your price competitive. I mean, we have that phrase, don't we, about pricing to entice, so that you want to price the property at a realistic amount straight away. It's not the market to be, shall we just try a little bit more and see what happens? Because what will happen is it will go stale on the market, and then you have to start chasing the market down. When a market's going up at a fast rate, like we've been used to in previous years, obviously the market can catch up. But at the moment, there is evidence to show it's slightly going down, or best case, sort of staying still. So you need to get the price right. The second thing, again, probably obvious, but worth highlighting, is just how you present the property. How many homes do we go to where, I mean, if the vendor puts the effort in and presents it well, it just makes our job so much easier. Getting good quality photos, videos now as well. They always say, the camera doesn't lie. Well, obviously, we don't, but you do see some agents that use lenses that make the rooms look bigger. But with the video, it is very much a warts and all. So the presentation has to be absolutely on point, and we help people with that, don't we? And I think, timing's always a thing as well. My personal view is that I think the time to launch a property now is probably the very first week of September. We've got 2 or 3 that we're holding back until then, because we're getting it all photographed now whilst the weather's nice, that just getting that timing right for when the market comes back. Because traditionally, it's quite interesting that the autumn is statistically the second busiest time, only narrowly after the spring. So yeah, there's definitely a good opportunity to sell before the year's out this year, definitely.
Yeah, so yeah, not a booming market as such, but 1000% there's opportunity out there for people that are going to price their property correctly, get the marketing right, and get on the market with a good strategy as well, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So price properly, presented well, get the timing right, i.e., very end of August, early September, and I think there's every chance you'll sell your property in a reasonable time frame.
Yeah. So what should people do if they need a bit of advice? What do you
Well,
think?
the usual thing. Obviously, feel free to drop us a message below here. Pop in and see us. Certainly, Michael, you're in the Kenilworth office, aren't you, most of the week?
Yeah.
Drop us an email. Always happy to help. Really, it's just trying to give sort of honest advice and help people move in the smoothest, easiest way possible. But anyway, that's the end of the property chat. Shall we have a coffee now?
Yeah, perfect. Enjoy coffee. Thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah.